Allow me to introduce myself.
I am the last sane sports fan.
I am a genius by trade.
I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another View from the Midwest. Well, today we're going to be talking about college basketball because it's going to be the last time we're going to be talking about that for quite some time, as the national championship happened just the other day. Duke ended up defeating Wisconsin. I'm not going to say that I'm happy about it. I really don't hate Duke the way a lot of people around the country do, but I was looking forward to having a different national champion because Wisconsin is kind of a dying breed. They had a lot of seniors on that team. They had a lot of people who had been with the program for several years. Bo Ryan was a coach who had kind of struggled, kind of built his way up through the ranks at Wisconsin, and really did a good job. He made it to the Final Four last year, got thwarted by Kentucky, managed to exercise those demons this year, but he just couldn't quite get enough out of this team, and I think that was a big reason why they lost. I'm not going to say it's the only reason, because Duke is an excellent team. They had a lot of top-notch talent on that team, but I think Wisconsin, when it boils down to it, they used up so much energy to get past the Goliath that was Kentucky, that by beating them, it was almost like winning the national championship, and then they just didn't quite have that little extra drop in the tank once it came to the national championship game. Duke was a little bit fresher. They had an extremely tough game too against Michigan State. Take nothing away from what they had to go through, but it wasn't quite the mental strain because the game was just tight for so long against Kentucky that I think Wisconsin ultimately just didn't have that extra little drop in the tank, and ultimately it was a little bit disappointing for those of us who are not Duke fans, because obviously Duke fans are overjoyed. They're over the moon at winning their fifth national championship under Coach K, fifth national championship overall, and that really puts him in discussion for one of the best basketball coaches of all time. I don't think he's the greatest of all time by any means. I still put Bobby Knight up there, even though he didn't have nearly as many national championships, but he just managed to, he coached in a completely different era, but he managed to have good teams for so long. If you take the personality aspect out of it, I think Bobby Knight was an extremely good coach. You've got Dean Smith, he's way up there. Everybody kind of branched out from his trees. And then you've got Wooden. I mean, Wooden is just up top. I mean, he would be on top of whoever you want to put on your Mount Rushmore of coaching, simply because he won 10 national titles and went undefeated in the national title game as well. So, I mean, it's hard to compete with that. But Coach K definitely up there. As far as Wisconsin not winning, again, it was very disappointing. It would just be nice to see, from an outsider's perspective, if my team is not going to win the national championship, then I would like to see new teams win it every now and then, which is why I was kind of rooting for Wisconsin. And it would have been nice to see them win their first national championship since 1941. And on sports radio the other day, they were kind of listing off all the things that happened since Wisconsin had won their last national championship. And I mean, they were talking about Joe DiMaggio getting his hitting streak and all sorts of different sporting events that have happened in the meantime. So it would have been nice for them to end their drought. They had an excellent team. Kaminsky, National Player of the Year. You can't fault him. He had an excellent game, 21 points. Ultimately, I think it boiled down not only with the Kentucky reference that I made, but the benches. 18 points for Duke's bench, 7 points for Wisconsin's bench, and I think that was kind of a big deal because Wisconsin's bench just didn't kind of pick them up when they needed to get the rest, and it was a situation where they just couldn't get the scoring or the shooting for that matter. It was not a good shooting night as they were 3 for 10 off the bench, and you can't have that. You need to have your bench pick you up a little bit, and Duke did. They picked up their team very well. Allen ended up scoring 16 points off the bench for Duke. Their bench in total ended up having 18 points, as I said. So it was just a really good night for the Blue Devils. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Okafor. Duke's going to be in an interesting situation. It's going to be kind of a Kentucky situation. I think they're going to have a lot of people leave off of this team. And it was a team that wasn't very deep to begin with. They only had 8 scholarship players. And a lot of them, I think, are going to probably go. Okafor almost surely will go. Probably Cook as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Let that play out as well. But congratulations to Coach K. Congratulations to Duke. Heartfelt best wishes go out to Wisconsin on the loss. I know how it feels. Kansas was in the championship game, lost to Kentucky just a few years ago. It's not a very good feeling to get all that way and not be able to pull it out. We'll have more to discuss tomorrow. We'll spread it out into some other sports topics now that college basketball is over. So until the next time, this is The View from the Midwest. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.